My name is James Omari. I'm a Kenyan youth, and let me say there's a lot to do with my name. Really, as we proceed, I'll be able to expound more in regard to who exactly I am. Maybe to talk about briefly about my background is that I'm an economist by training. I graduated 7 years ago, and it was a very good university that I got a chance to study in. That was in Pakistan, where I spent a couple of years. And 7 years back, I graduated as a Bachelor of Science from the economics class. So after that, I came back home in Kenya, and I started focusing on I really wanted to perfect on that line of economics because I've always had passion as an accountant, as an economist, and I wanted to do more on that line of being an economist. I wanted to work at the Central Bank of Kenya because that's my line of profession, as I said, a senior economist. But as fate could have it, I never got a chance to work there. But all in all, I'm happy, especially what I've been able to do in the last few years. Because I remember venturing into sales. That was in insurance. I did insurance for a couple of years. So I've been, let me say, I've been a freelancer for a better part of my years after graduation. Yes, I'm a very proud father to a boy. Yes, and I'm married. Yes, my beautiful wife. Her name is Mercy. We are raising a family together, and that is it about my family. They have been very supportive of me and my ventures. Whatever I get into, they're always there with me, by my side. Most likely, maybe, that is where I've been able to get to where I am today, because of the support of that my immediate family members. A simplified version of that. Digital, as the word goes, really, what I can say is that there is a modern way of doing things using electronic. I think I'm not going to use the word digital to explain digital. But let me say it's a modern way of doing things, using internet, using the computers and everything to push an idea, to market an idea. Yeah, let me just say it's just using electronic media to push an idea or to market a brand or something. Yes. Oh yes, so like I just said a few seconds ago, is that that was the normal way of distribution, normal way that a product will leave the factory to where the consumer is. That was the old way of doing things. But as we talk, this is 2020, a lot has changed about everything. And today, having had a privilege to move around the world, especially during my college years, I can tell you that everything has shifted from that mode of doing things to now the digital way that we said earlier, where most entities are embracing the network marketing models of moving a product from one place to another. The digital way, using the social media platforms, for example. We have this Facebook that is viral all over, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have all these kind of apps. That now today without necessarily having a physical stall, having a physical building like this, you can be able to run your business from wherever you are, as long as you're connected to the internet. And that's where we are. And the earlier you learn how to go online, how to do things using the internet, the better, because the world is revolutionizing very quick. And we need to adjust as fast as possible. It saves a lot of time, it saves a lot of money. Because right now you don't need to rent, you don't need to run a physical office. Like I jokingly say that COVID-19 is a pandemic, yes, but to some extent It is here to awaken us. It's here to remind us that everything is moving from the physical meetings, from the physical you interacting with your customer from time to time. It has reminded us that we need to social distance. In short, we need to socially be connected. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We are reminded that that's even you see the distance between me and you is actually that's where we are today, that we can do things without having to meet. And you can't do that if you still stick to the old way of doing things. But the digital, where we actively make use of the electronic media that is available, the social media applications to convey our ideas, to sell our ideas and everything. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, that was in 2014. Immediately after campus, I ventured into sales, and that was in insurance. So I remember every day I could wake up and go to the offices, meet people, look for clients from one office to another, from one yard to another, looking for insurance, for potential customers for my insurance policies. That was the way that I used to do things. But at the end of the day, you realize that what you've been able to achieve is little, because for something to be done, you need to meet someone. What happens when the weather is not very conducive? For example, it's raining, you're supposed to meet someone. It means a deal is not going to be struck. What happens when COVID is here and we are on lockdown, meaning that you cannot do that? So by then, during that time, actually I could only, sometimes my movement could be curtailed because sometimes you run short of money that you understand, moving up and down entails money. So if you run short of money, you may not be able to move around, even to do your normal businesses. I remember being being stuck at some point many times, that I couldn't move from point A to point B, just simply because I didn't have the money. I was really struggling. But for today, with the kind of what I just got myself into around 5 years ago, that's network marketing, where there's nothing you can do with technology. Technology is here with us. You cannot, you can't argue with. You really have not. We have to accept that things have really gone very digital. So today, even without meeting someone physically, the way I used to do and present to those people, for them to embrace my ideology, my idea. So when I got introduced, for example, to what I do today, I juxtaposed. I looked at what I was able to do as an insurance agent, and now what I'm being introduced to, especially in the network marketing. An industry that exposes you to the international market, an industry that exposes you via network, via the internet. You're able to connect with everybody around. That is not achievable if your business, if everything you do entails you moving from one point to another. You cannot be boarding flights every morning to go and meet people in different locations. But by you learning on how you can get to do things on a digital way, you're going to save a lot in terms of especially the operating costs, and also even you may not even need so many people to help you do something. You can do it alone, because the beauty is that everything on how you can be able to do business online is available. You can Google, you can do everything so long as you're connected to internet, like the place where we have Wi-Fi. So easily you can access the material you need without necessarily going to look for someone to explain to you whatever. Yeah, that's what I like about what I do. Thank you for that, Madam Joy. We live in a society that is very glued, still engraved in the old way of doing things. And people are used to, majority of us, we are used to the old way of doing things. And a bit of the challenges that I experienced, especially in my early years, is that people could not, especially my friends, could not connect how an economist from Pakistan, really someone that is expected to be in an office, in a good office, and execute his responsibility as an economist, work, tabulate data, do stuff. How this kind of person now is doing things that really has no connection to what I did in school. So let me say, the biggest challenge was even my friends, because most of us, we are social creatures. So in as much as you can really be good at doing things, you still have friends around you. And the friends are going to question your whatever you do. I mean, how how is this related? My parents were disappointed because they spent a lot of money on me to go to university, and they expected me to stick to that line of being an economist. So even having the society accept that this is what I want to do actually took time. There were many question marks, because when you talk about the digital way, for example, what I do as a network marketer, it's not very easy to explain to you. I give a summary of what is it that you do, because it's a wide range of things. So there was a disconnect. Let me say, there was a serious disconnect, and even getting to the people very close to me understanding what is exactly that Mr. Mari is doing. But they say that change is as good as rest. With time, you know, people start understanding you, and your friends are not going to take you serious most of the time when you do something, because your friends are there to celebrate you when you become successful, not to be part of the success story. And that is what I experienced like any other person. Doubt and everything, you know. This is something new you're doing. None of our family members have ever done this. What do you think you have special that you really, that can make you succeed in what you're doing? There were many question marks, and there were many people trying to advise me otherwise. There were people telling me, you know, you're losing it, Omari, you know, you need to get back to what you're supposed to do. But with time, I've been vindicated, because what I started today is massive. In the last like 5 years, yes. Allow me just say something. That most of us, we believe in God. Majority, I'm sure, even the one viewing this. We always go to church, mosques, and most of the time we go on our knees and we pray that may God open the heavenly showers for us to achieve whatever we want to achieve in life. Most of us have been struggling. We have nothing. I mean, we have only papers, no job, no nothing. Every day we say, God, can you give me an opportunity? The interesting bit of us is that when that opportunity shows up, we're reluctant. We are not ready to take it up. And the unfortunate thing again is that the people who are supposed to understand how things are happening, people we call the elites, like me, like many of you, many people, they are just blanket condemnation and say, you know, that is, it's very funny that whatever that we don't understand how it works, we brand it as scam. Yes, that is the most unfortunate thing, especially with the new generation, the 18 to 35 people, years of age. Very young people access information, but they choose to blanket, to say this is like this. And in fact, when we even don't have the information about what is being done. So when God opens the ways and things are really very clear that you can do this and become successful, we still doubt. And we go back to church. We go on our knees, we tell God, give us an opportunity, instead of appreciating and thanking God that thank you for this opportunity. And number two, maybe something that I can say, the many people are afraid to start. Many people want to be very successful. Trust you me, everyone, even your friends, I'm sure they want to be success icons. But they're not willing and ready to go through the process. They want to be, to get to the end without going through the beginning, the process, and everything. So I tell my friends, it's good to fall in love with what you want to achieve in life. Every person wants to drive a nice car, every person wants to live in a good homestead. But when you tell these people that this is the process to get in there, they're not ready to be part of that. And the thing is, most of your friends, most of our family members, like I said, they want to be part of success, your success. They'll be able to say, that is my sister, that is my brother, but they want to be part of that process. So they challenge you, they pose a challenge to you and tell you, go make it fast. You're the one to confirm to them that the thing you're doing is right. So they are not going to be part of that, but now you have you to confirm to them that the thing works. So now it takes a very bold person to take a step, even when everybody is against you, especially if you believe and trust in your instinct. You say, this is what I want to do. My advice is that don't listen to everybody. Everyone is going to have an opinion, but at the end of the day, your decision is going to count. Very, very, very well put, Madam Joy. I want to say that doubt, the fear of the unknown, has killed more dreams than failure itself. Just to expound on that is that many people have so many what if. What if I start this, like right now we're doing this kind of thing, and someone had an idea, they conceived an idea of doing this kind of business, for example. Everyone is saying, most people say, what if I venture into photography? What if I venture into this kind of business and I fail? What if I start and my friends don't embrace it? What if I start, I face challenges? What if I fail like someone else? The interesting thing is that the same thing you're trying to do, chances are that someone is being successful in the same trade. How about you look at the people who are doing the same thing you're doing but are successful instead of looking for failures? Most of us get examples of those people who have failed and say, what if can you ask yourself, what if I start and I succeed? What if I go to school, I do my best, I become a medical doctor? What if I become a successful entrepreneur? Most people say, what if I fail? That fear in itself is actually a failure in itself. You already failed even before you start. Yeah, so getting direct to what you just said, it's true. There are many pyramid schemes, there are many illegal stuff out there, especially with the digital revolution. Many are making advantage of that. They're taking advantage of that to swindle people, money and everything. And it's not very easy to note, to really discern which opportunity is good and is not very easy. It takes an eagle eye to see what many people cannot see. For example, actually the word scam has greatly been misused. Actually, if there's a word that I can say that has been misused in this country, anywhere in the world, is the word we call scam, the S-C-A-M. It can be defined in many ways, but the common, what I can say that I especially want to venture into something, don't get into things because someone is doing it. That is another mistake most of us make, because Joy is doing something I also want to do. Because Joy has succeeded in ABCD, I also want to do it, without going behind Joy and trying to inquire what is it that she has done different from those people who have failed. It is true we have many opportunities out there. There are good ones, there are bad ones. But in the same opportunity, we have success stories. How about you identify one of those success stories? Can you closely monitor what those people do differently? I always tell people that it's good. It's very good to get to class to learn. It's very good to join online courses and everything. But for me, the best learning you can ever do in this world is not the learning of going to class. It's that learning where you sit next to the person who has succeeded. Get to learn their tricks. Get to learn how they do it. The learning of observing and implementing, to me, is the best learning. Not the learning of taking notes, where you align yourself with someone who has been success, whatever, in the industry, like the digital world and everything. Trust you me, the stories are countless. Get in touch with one of those stories, get to understand these people, and when they advise you to do this, not to do that, and actually I'm getting to what the person we call a mentor. That is the secret behind success in the digital world. Don't get into something because you have the capital. Don't start a business because you can afford. Don't go take a loan and start a no. For me, identify someone. If you want to get into hospitality industry, you want to own a hotel, identify someone who is running a successful hotel and get to understand how they do it. You understand? Just follow in the footsteps. Be ready to be mentored by these people. Tell them, kindly hold my hand, guide me in the same, because I'm getting into the same business you've done. And trust you me, you can only become successful. The interesting thing is that I see someone is successful, I see my brother succeeded in something, I also want to get into it because I want to drive the same car. That is wrong. Shortcuts are not going to work. Get that person, get to know the baby steps. What did he do differently? Don't go to failures to ask them how to become successful. There are failures and successful people in everything we do. Identify one of them, get very close with them, and request them to be your mentors, to guide you on how to do whatever they are doing. And trust you me, you can only be a better version of them.